Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the course Radar Engineering. Since from last few lectures we will be talking about radar antenna from the model 5A. Today we will be covering some of the important topics of reflector antennas, which is part 2, the continuation of the previous lecture. The main contents for the today's presentation includes specifically about feed. We will be talking about what is feed, how to model it, how to select a feed, some important terminologies related to the feed and the reflector will be discussed, followed by gain calculations for the reflector antennas. At last we will be talking about what is the effect of feed pattern on the aperture efficiency. Let us first understand what is feed antenna. I will try to give you a brief description about what is called feed. Generally, a feed is nothing but it is a excitation to any antenna. Okay, if I take a particular antenna as a reflector, then the feed plays a very important role, because your reflector antenna is a secondary antenna and it will be illuminated by the primary antenna, which is called feed. If your feed is not properly chosen, then it is very difficult for us to shape the secondary pattern from the reflector antenna. So selection of the feed is very important. So before going to the selection, first understand what is feed. Okay, the reflector antenna system, the feed must be fed properly in order to realize the maximum performance. The performance normally referred in terms of aperture efficiency. Okay, the aperture efficiency of the reflector antenna is a major concern in the design of reflector antennas. The feed is referred to as a primary antenna and the reflector is normally called as a secondary antenna or secondary radiator. Okay, if the radiation pattern of the feed is known, then the illumination of the aperture can be determined very easily and the resulting secondary beam pattern can be easily found, because we need to shape the secondary beam pattern from the reflector only if the primary pattern is properly formed by the feed. If you know the radiation pattern of the feed, then the secondary beam pattern from the reflector can be easily found. Okay, so this is about the general feed meaning. Okay, with respect to the reflector antenna is concerned, how one can model the feed and how to shape the primary feed pattern from the selected feed. A very popular representation of the feed pattern, which is given by cos power q theta f pattern, and it is given by in both the planes. In E plane, this is the pattern Ce of theta f equals to cos power qe into theta f of theta f. In the H plane, Ch of theta f equals to cos to the power qh theta f, where theta f it should be less than or equals to pi by 2. If it is greater than pi by 2, then there won't be any pattern, we get 0. Okay, and these are the two popular feed pattern representation in E and H plane for a general feed model. Okay, if I say the feed is balanced, if you are able to produce rotationally symmetric pattern, then these two patterns will be equally same. C of theta f equals to Ch of theta f, and this is equals to cos to the power q theta f, because QE equals to QH for balanced feed. So the resulting feed pattern what we get is proportional to cos to the power q theta f. So this is the feed model for rotationally symmetric feed, or simply called as a balanced feed. Okay, when theta f less than or equals to pi by 2, and it is 0 when theta f greater than pi by 2. Okay, this is the general feed model. And Q, the selection of the Q is very important. Okay, so that depends upon whether the feed to be a narrow feed, or it has to produce a narrow beam or a wider beam. That depends upon the selection of the Q. Okay, and how to select the optimum feed. Okay, in the previous slide we have seen the model for general feed. Now in order to say the feed is optimum, then it should satisfy certain characteristics. What are the characteristics for the good feed? And firstly, it should be rotationally symmetric or balanced. If it is a balanced feed satisfying this property, or it is proportional to this pattern, then it is said to be rotationally symmetric, or it is balanced. And balanced feed is optimum always. And the feed should have a point face center, and face center should be positioned at the focal point of the reflector. That means the feed, whatever you choose, it should be placed at the focus, and the radiation or the energy which is emitted by the feed, it should be completely absorbed by the reflector or illuminated by the reflector. The surface illumination or the amplitude illumination, or the phase and the amplitude illumination, okay, on the surface of the reflector, it should be uniform. The feed should be small in order to reduce the blockage. Okay, in the next session we will be talking about what is called blockage, aperture blockage. Okay, if you take a small feed, it will reduce the blockage. Okay, the feed should have low cross polarization. Okay, usually below minus 30 dB. So any feed you take it, if it is said to be optimum, it should have a low cross polarization, usually below minus 30 dB. It is acceptable. And the feed pattern should be such that the reflector edge illumination is about minus 11 dB. The above characteristics should hold over the desired operational frequency band. If I take a bandwidth for the antenna, if all these properties are holds good over that particular band, then the feed is said to be optimum. So these are some of the optimum characteristics of the feed. So if your feed is satisfying these characteristics, then it is optimum feed. Okay, some of the important terminologies which are really to be known to the reflector antenna designer. Okay, it is related to the feed and the reflector. Usually we talk about F-body ratio, antenna spillover loss, aperture blockage, illumination taper, optimum feed illumination angle, uniform aperture illumination, aperture efficiency. There are number of terms still there. Okay, these are the important terminologies which normally use when you read any textbook. Okay, for the topic reflector antennas, these terms repeats. What is F-body ratio? The performance of the reflector antenna can be judged by properly understanding these terminologies. What is F body ratio? F body ratio is the focal length to the diameter of the reflector surface, where F is the focal length, where D is the diameter of the reflector surface. F body selection is very important. Okay, for some cases we choose F body to be very larger value. In some cases we choose F body to be very small value. What happens if I increase the value of F body? An antenna with large F body ratio, which is very necessary to achieve relatively uniform illumination across the aperture. If you take a reflector antenna, okay, if you are expecting there should be uniform illumination across the aperture, then choose the larger value of F body. The higher values of F body will lead to the better cross polarization performance. Okay, we know that there should be glow cross polarization usually below -30 dB. In order to achieve that property, we have to take the larger value of F body, and usually the range will be chosen between -3 to 1. Okay, if you take a larger value of F body, it will produce a narrower feed pattern. If you produce a narrower feed pattern, this will increases the feed antenna size. Okay, there are again trade-offs on the other parameters as well. If you increase the F body ratio, that results into narrower feed pattern. Okay, if your feed is producing narrower feed pattern, it will result into less spillover loss, but at the same time it will produce a larger taper loss. So there are some losses. What is antenna spillover loss? A significant portion of the energy which is radiated by the feed would not intercept the reflector surface. Okay, the power which is radiated by the feed antenna, okay, does not intercepted by the reflector, that results into loss. That is called spillover loss. That is nothing but simply power from the feed missing the radiating aperture. Okay, some portion of the radiated power from the feed missing the radiating aperture, and that loss is called spillover loss. Okay, the less the spillover, higher the aperture efficiency. Always try to reduce the spillover from the feed antenna. Okay, you can clearly see the effect of spillover, okay, by this pattern. So it is a wider pattern produced by the feed. Okay, you can see this is the spillover region, okay, and this is the diffracted region, and this is the reflector, and this is the main beam of the primary pattern produced by the feed, and these are the side lobes. Okay, even when the feed is at the exact focus, okay, it is not doubt that the feed is not at the focus, it is still be at the focus, but still we have some losses. Okay, a portion of the emitted energy at the edge of the beam will not imping upon the reflector. See here, this portion, okay, it will not imping upon the reflector. Okay, this is called a feed spillover, and this is called beam spillover. And how to reduce the spillover? Okay, there is one solution. By tapering the feed illumination can mitigate this effect. Okay, tapering is nothing but reducing the feed illumination. By reducing the feed illumination at the edges, okay, we can tolerate this effect. But there are some trade-offs between beam spillover, tapering of the aperture, illumination antenna gain and feed blockage. Okay, if you try to reduce one parameter, then that leads to the increase of the other parameter. So always when it comes to the performance, there is a trade-off between all these parameters. Okay, what is aperture blockage? Okay, just imagine you have a very large feed. You have a very large feed and it is emitting some energy onto the reflector circuit surface. Okay, if the part of the feed energy is reflected back into the feed antenna itself, okay, and that creates a blockage. Okay, and the secondary pattern does not really produced and does not contribute to the main beam due to the blockage. If your feed itself acts like a blockage to the reflector antenna, then you cannot generate the secondary pattern. Some portion of the feed energy which is reflected back into the feed itself. Okay, that is what is called as aperture blockage. When you take a larger value of f bar d, that results into. Okay, what is called as illumination taper? The feed illumination, as I have already mentioned in the last slide, that the spillover loss can be easily controlled by tapering the illumination at the edges. Feed illumination is reduced at the edges of the reflector. If the illumination is more tapered, then again there is a problem, right? That results into the reduction in the aperture efficiency. Okay, if a spillover is too large, then also there will be a reduction in the aperture efficiency. Even though there is more tapering, okay, there will be a reduction in the aperture efficiency. So there should be a balance between these losses. So there should be some tuning between these losses. Okay, there is an angle that is called optimum feed illumination angle. It is some angle at which the losses due to spillover and tapering of the illumination can be minimized, okay, or balanced. That results into maximum efficiency. That is our aim. Okay, the performance of the reflector antenna is measured by the antenna aperture efficiency. If you maximize the efficiency, then the performance is good. Otherwise, it suffers from various types of losses. Okay, what is called as uniform aperture illumination? Okay, if there is a uniform field distribution over the reflector surface, okay, the phase and the magnitude or the amplitude distribution of the field is uniformly distributed across the aperture, then it is called as uniform aperture illumination, where the effective aperture is approximately equals to the physical aperture when there is a uniform field distribution over the reflector surface. Okay, what is aperture efficiency? We will be repeatedly using the term aperture efficiency. What is this? It is a measure of how efficiently the physical area of the antenna is utilized. If the physical area of the antenna is utilized completely, then the aperture efficiency becomes 100%. Then the effective aperture becomes physical aperture. In most of the cases, for aperture antennas, the aperture efficiency is approximately usually be 80 to 90%. Okay, we'll try to make it approximately equals to 1 so that we can reduce these losses. So there should be a balancing, or there should be a compromise on any of the parameter, because there are some trade-offs between these parameters. The next topic, gain calculations for reflector antennas. The aperture antennas usually have an obvious physical aperture of the area AP through which all of the energy will be radiated. The maximum available gain for an aperture antenna is G maximum, where G maximum is equals to du, the maximum gain, okay, that is expected by the reflector antenna when this efficiency, okay, epsilon AP equals to 1, where G becomes G max and it is equals to du. Okay, this is equals to epsilon AP, where du is 4 pi by lambda square into AP. We know that this is the relationship between the directivity and the effective aperture or the physical aperture if I take it. This is the actual size of the antenna surface, right? So 4 pi by lambda square into AP is du. This is a maximum value. If you multiply some parameter like aperture efficiency, because antenna losses also need to be considered when you calculate the gain. Okay, epsilon AP into 4 pi by lambda square into AP, where epsilon AP is the product of so many efficiencies. Okay, epsilon S is spillover efficiency, epsilon T is a taper efficiency, epsilon P is a phase efficiency, epsilon X is cross polarization efficiency, epsilon B is blockage efficiency, epsilon R is radiation efficiency. Usually this radiation efficiency epsilon R is approximately equals to 1 or minimum for large aperture antennas, and we are interested in taking some of the important terms, okay, which are efficiencies: spillover, taper, and the combination of phase efficiency, cross polarization efficiency and blockage efficiency is called as achievement efficiency. Epsilon A is equals to epsilon P into epsilon X into epsilon B. It is called as achievement aperture efficiency. Okay, we will slowly talk about what is called as spillover efficiency, taper efficiency and so on. Okay, try to make these values approximately equals to 1 so that we can able to achieve a maximum gain for the reflector antennas. Okay, what is spillover? If the energy radiated by the feed is not impinging upon the reflector, or if power from the feed missing the radiating aperture, that results into spillover, right? If there is more spillover, then spillover efficiency is low. If there is no spillover, then spillover efficiency is maximum. Okay, what is the meaning of spillover efficiency then? It is a fraction of the total power that is radiated by the feed which is intercepted and collimated by the reflecting surface. Collimated means the rays which are coming reflected from the reflector surface in parallel to the aperture plane. Okay, it is what is expected. Okay, maximum power which is radiated by the feed has to intercept the reflector surface and it should be collimated by the reflecting surface. This is what is expected, and this is what is called as spillover efficiency. Okay, what is taper efficiency? This represents the uniformity of the amplitude distribution of the feed pattern over the surface of the reflector. Okay, how uniformly the field is distributed over the surface of the reflector. That field distribution will decide how much is the value of taper efficiency. Okay, what is phase efficiency? If there is no error due to polarization purity, then that results into larger value of phase efficiency. It is nothing but phase uniformity of the field over the aperture plane. Okay, a good feed should have a low cross polarization value less than minus 30 dB. Okay, if it is not properly chosen, then that results into phase efficiency. Okay, and it should be uniform. The amplitude distribution and the phase distribution over the reflector surface should be uniform. If it is not uniform, then that results into phase efficiency. The cross polarization efficiency. The polarization uniformity of the field over the aperture plane, okay, is cross polarization efficiency. What is blockage efficiency? If there is more blockage from the feed, by taking larger value of F body, this results into lesser value of blockage efficiency. Try to increase the value of blockage efficiency and try to reduce the effect due to the blockage. Okay, and there is no much effect due to radiation efficiency over the parameter epsilon AP. Okay, it is negligible but still to be considered. Okay, so what is the effect of feed pattern on the efficiency? Okay, that depends upon the feed pattern produced by the feed. If the feed is producing a broader feed pattern that gives high aperture taper efficiency, that means low spillover efficiency. See, when you take a broader pattern, then there will be higher spillover. If there is a higher spillover, then the spillover efficiency is low. That results into the larger value of epsilon T. The taper efficiency is high when spillover efficiency is low. Okay, when there is high spillover, then that results into low spillover efficiency. Similarly, if I take a narrow feed pattern, okay, if a feed produces a narrow feed pattern giving low spillover, results into high spillover efficiency. Okay, the high spillover efficiency also results into a low aperture taper efficiency. Okay, both are inversely proportional. If spillover efficiency increases, the taper efficiency reduces. Okay, narrow feed pattern giving high spillover efficiency but low aperture taper efficiency. If high spillover efficiency is nothing but there will be a low spillover at the edges. Okay, that's why there should be some optimum value that to be selected in order to balance the both. And these are the references which I have referred for the today's presentation. The common reference is the textbook Introduction to Radar System by Merrill Skolnick, and as usual these are the two references that I am continuously referring for the topic reflector antennas. Thank you.